Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you guys my Zefra Yugioh deck profile for the end of June 2017. It's a really fun deck and made a lot easier to complete now with the release of the Pendulum Evolution booster pack, just because they reprinted a lot of cards that definitely needed it. Otherwise, they were difficult because they came out of cross souls at the time. But I thought I'd bring you guys the deck profile because this is also a post Maximum Crisis deck profile for me, since we have the new support from that set. But let's go ahead and jump right in. I run 3 of the boss monster for the deck, which is Zefra. It is a level 10, I think it is level 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, it is 11, my mistake there. Level 11 monster. During your main phase, you can add 1 Zefra Pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck, face up, and if you do, change this card's pendulum scale to the same as that pendulum monster until the end of this turn. You can only use the effect once per turn, so it's a great way to build up the pendulum extra deck with your monsters. I know I go for the Zefra Yugioh a lot because when you pendulum summon him out, you get a search and you can turn the scale to 7, and most of the scales for the Zefra deck go back and forth between 1 and 7, so that makes for easy, consistent pendulum summons. And his monster effect is it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from face up in your extra deck by tributing all monsters you control, including at least 3 Zefra monsters, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. After you special summon this card, you can conduct 1 pendulum summon of a Zefra monsters during your main phase this turn. In addition to your pendulum summon, you can only use this effect once per turn. You contribute 1 monster to special summon 1 Zefra monster from your deck. So he literally broke the rule on pendulum summoning, allowing for an additional pendulum summon of Zefra monsters. So having 2 just gives you twice the power, because he's meant to take back from the fact that you had to tribute all your monsters to get him out by giving you that extra summon. So most of your Zefra monsters will hopefully go to the extra deck after you use his effect, and then just summon them back out after he hits the field. And I also run 3 Zefra Yugioh, Secret of the Zing. All other Zefra monsters basically have the limit that you cannot pendulum monsters except for Zing or Zefra monsters, and the Zing part is taken over by whatever other monster that Zefra monster is. When this card's pendulum summoned or when it's destroyed by battle or card effect while in the monster zone, you can add 1 Zing or Zefra spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect of Zefra Yugioh once per turn. So he's basically a great search. He could search for 9 Pillar of the Zing, Zefra Divine Strike, whatever you need for that situation, and he'll get the destruction or the special summon, so even on your opponent's turn you can get off the search. And he's a 2600 defense, so you can just sit on him if need be with this card. A definitely must of 3 in the deck. And I also run 2 Zefra, the other Zing pendulum monster. When this one's pendulum summon or special summon from the main deck, you can target 1 Zing or Zefra monster you control except for Zefra, Treasure of the Zing. That face-up monster is treated as a tuner this turn, and also place this card on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. So added tuner ability with this card really is helpful. He himself is not a tuner, which fools a lot of people, because when I play people in my locals, they always think that he is a tuner when in fact he is not. He gives the tuner power, so you have to remember that. But just the fact that he can do that means that you have so much consistency for what you want to go into for a synchro summon, because you can hit anything for that level tuner. I'm also running a small Zing engine in this deck. I'm a big fan of it. I've come to find that Zings were probably the most consistent thing to add with the Zefra deck. So I'm running 1 Suwani, 1 Bixie, and 1 Jiaotu, mostly for the fact that they can all search out basically the other needed Zefra Zing monsters, Zefra Yugioh, and with Jiaotu's ability you can even, if you have the cost to be paid by ditching the Zing cards, you can special summon 2 out from the deck and just go more plays from there. And I also run 2 Shaddoll Zefra Core. Now, these monsters have really been played out by my own opinion of what the number I think to run is. So you can mix and match these monsters and which you feel is the most consistent to your opinion after these cards. Like I said, I run 2 Zefra Core just because I really like his special summon ability from the pendulum scale. But like I said, it's complete preference for you, what you prefer. If you want Zefra Thubin or Swordmaster the Necroz, whichever you prefer, go for that play. But like I said, I like 2 Zefra Core just for the fact that he can special summon from the pendulum scale. And 1 Zefra Saber, Swordmaster of the Necroz, yeah, like I said, these are just my one-of preferences because all these cards are super searchable with the deck because of Oracle of Zefra or Zefra Providence. So you really have no difficulty in saying, okay, I need to grab this card. You can easily grab them, which is why they're all good just being run at one. Otherwise, it kind of would, mess up your consistency with the deck. But one, Swordmaster to the Necroz, it has the tribute effect from your hand or face up from your side of the field. The special summon the Necroz effect, but I like him for the fact that he is the water tribute. So if you were to use him for a tuner, you can go for some pretty powerful monsters, including Deloran. So you can't go wrong with that and his level 4 status. Also, one, Zefraxiton. If this card is normal or flipped or pendulum summoned, you can target one other Tellarknight or Zephyr card in your monster or pendulum zone, and one set card your opponent controls, destroy them. You can only use the effect once per turn. And then Zephyr Thubin has the same effect as that, except it's a face-up card instead of a set card, so these two go back and forth. If I had a second choice after Zephyr Core, I'd probably choose Zephyr Thubin as my one to run two of. But like I said, it's a big mix and match game with this deck. And one, Ritual Beast Tamer, Zefra Pilica. The effect is when it's normal or pendulum summon, you can target one Ritual Beast or Zephyr monster in your graveyard, except for Zefra Pilica, special summon it, but is destroyed during the end phase. You can only special summon it once per turn. But the fact that you get back to the field and it would be destroyed means it would instead go to the extra deck. So Zefra Pilica helps grabbing back monsters from your graveyard that would most of the time been sent there because of cards like Exceed Summons and whatnot. And then I also run 3 red Resonator. Saw this as a pretty common addition into the deck just to help speed up some summons and, like I said, additional tuner monsters since none of the actual Zephyr monsters and all we run besides that is Jiaotu and Zefroxy's Power are tuner monsters. So relying on red Resonator along with its special summon effect just really helps, to go for those other synchro summons. And then to wrap up the monsters, one Maxi just for a little more hand consistency because that's the one thing that just always can not go wrong with in this deck. And that is it for the monsters. We'll move on to spells. I run 3 Oracle of Zefra, another card that was recently reprinted in the new Pendulum Evolution pack. When it's activated, you can add one Zephyr monster from your deck to your hand. While you ritual summon a Zephyr monster or special summon a Zephyr monster, you can activate depending on the type of effect. If it's a ritual, you shuffle one monster on the field into the deck. If it's a fusion, you special summon one monster from your hand. Synchro, choose one monster from your deck and place it on top of your deck. XYZ, draw one card, then discard one card. You can only activate the effect once per turn, but you have so many options to go with. Most of the time, we're going to go for the Synchro and the Exceeds because that's what my deck mostly depends on. So the placement on top of the deck helps, and then the discard draw. And the most of the part is the fact that you can add a Zephyr monster, so you'll keep on plussing along with having the field spell on the field. And I also run 3 Zefra Providence. Now this card helps for the fact that you add one Zephyr card from your deck to your hand, so you can even search out Oracle of Zefra if need be. And you cannot add Providence, of course, but if a Zephyr card you control would be destroyed, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and it will basically protect that card. So another protection card to go off of, and the search is always nice as well. And also 2 Resonator Call just to help search out the red Resonator. So many search cards in this deck, it's very crazy for the fact that we also can run 3 Terraforming and just help to grab the Oracle of Zefra, basically making all your spell cards in this deck search. So if you draw a spell card, most of the time it is just going to be search power. And the non-spell cards that I run that are search are 2 Forbidden Chalice, just for effect negation. It really helps in those situations. And attack boost. And 1 Regeki for field clearing. You can pendulum summon pretty hard with this deck, so clearing your opponent's board really does help. And then for the traps, I run 1 Zephyr Divine Strike. It's searchable by Zefranyu, so you can't go wrong there. You just banish a face-up Zephyr from your extra deck to negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect and destroy it. And 2 Zefra War. If you target 1 Zephyr card you control, 1 card your opponent controls, destroy them. And if you have 2 Zephyr cards in your Pendulum Scale, you can activate this card from your hand. I'll activate 1 per turn, but it's a pop effect, and the fact that it can be activated from the hand for very easy conditions that can be met, it's really, really nice. And then to wrap up the traps, 2 9-Pillar of the Yang Zing. I run plenty of Yang Zings in the deck, so the fact that this is also searchable off of Zefranyu means you'll definitely get it off most of the time. Even if you just have to special summon out Zefranyu and then destroy it off of that, you'll get another search along with the negation. And that is it for the main deck. We will now move on to the extra deck. I run 1 Boxia, Brightness of the Yang Zing, just because easy with Jiao 2 to get out this level 8 using that and Zefra Yugioh. 1 Denlong for additional searches and another tuner to go off of. 1 Nirvana High Paladin with the Synchros and the Zefroxy. I run the level 7 Synchros and Zefroxy. It's easy to make this guy out. All you have to do is Pendulum Summon Zefroxy, and he can be used as the tuner that way. 1 Black Rose Moonlit Dragon. 1 Igniter, the Blasting Draco Slayer. 1 DeLorean, you use the Necroz monster for this play. 1 Chao Fang, Phantom of the Yang Zing. 1 Yazi, Evil of the Yang Zing. 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon for the field spell plays. 1 Metaphys Horus, just for the varying summon, so you can go off with him. 1 Magister Paladin, the Ascending Draco Slayer. 1 Daigusto Emerald. 1 Castel. 1 number 101, and 1 Gaga Cowboy to finish off the extra deck. So yeah, that is it for the Zefra deck profile. I've always been meaning to do this deck for a good while now, but just glad that we finally got a new rehash of the old support for the deck to make it a lot easier for people who did want to build it once again. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and until next time, Kira Twig out.